Hello, Mr. Adewale. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. I am just trying to get our guest on Facebook. Thank you for those who have joined. Thank you. Hi, Mrs. G. Can I have Mr. G, please? Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you. How are you? I hope you're well. Is everything okay? And for those on Facebook, thank you also for joining. Thank you, Mrs. Flat, as well. Okay, Mrs. Flat. Hey, Sunday. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Glad to have you here. Thank you all for joining. Just expecting my guest to join at the moment. I think it should be here in a few minutes. He's already on his way somewhere. Mr. G, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Mr. Flat. Isn't that your name? That is Mr. Flat. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for being a part of this conversation tonight. This is going to be a great conversation. For my Facebook family, I am live now. And just want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you. Good evening. How are you? Hello, Chikbelo. The one and only Chikbelo. How are you? Good to have you, Ma. Thank you. Mr. G, I'm waiting for you on Instagram. Thank you, everyone. Hey, Flaky, thank you for joining. Mom's Allowed. Thank you so much for joining. My guest is just trying to join on Instagram. Can we just let me know how you are tonight? How are we all feeling? What is going on with us? Are you good? It's everything all right with you? So I am very well. I'm very well. Thank you. Just drop me some comments. Let me know how you're doing. How is everyone doing? Are we all doing well? What is going on with us tonight? What are you up to this Saturday night? I believe everyone has been somewhere and doing something. So I'm gonna bring in my guest with me. Thank you, Facebook family. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate this time. Yes. So you're here for Mr. Badamosi joining from London. Freemas, thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Badamosi is just connecting. I'm waiting for him to join. He's there. He's right here. Hey, Show. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Badamosi is on here, just doing that. So, as I was saying, Mr. G had a long day at work. Wow. Oh, well done, sis. I mean, working on Saturdays is just something else, But yeah, well done. Thank you all so much. So I'm going to tell you about my day before my guest join. I'm just waiting for JPI in Nigeria. So I think Mr. G, you need to request to join again because I can see that it's right there just looking. Yeah, so I'm having him on now. So talking about my day, actually I have had a good day. It's been a long day as well. And Jay, Mr. G. Okay.
One sec, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Done.
Got it. Yeah. So we can't see you on Instagram. We can't see you on Instagram. Your camera isn't looking at you on Instagram. We can't see your face. I can see you on Facebook, by the way, but I can't see you on Instagram.
How's that possible? Oh, okay, okay. Sorry.
Maybe you put your camera the other way. That's it. Fantastic. Yes. So, good evening, all. Thank you so very much, Mr. G. Okay, so I fondly call him Mr. G. Mr. G, your Facebook, you're muted on your Facebook. So people on Facebook won't hear you. So you need to unmute yourself. You just need to just cancel the volume on your laptop or unmute yourself. That's it. Yes. So people can hear you. So everyone, good evening. I mean, we've only got like less than 60 minutes for this. As we all know, Instagram wouldn't let us have more than 60 minutes on live, and I don't want us to come back. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting conversation. So first of all, for those who are joining us for the first time, who don't know me, so my name is Bibi Johnson. I am fondly called BBJ, and I am the founder of Conversations with BBJ, where I bring on different individuals doing great stuff to discuss different topics, various topics that affect our daily lives. And to be honest with you guys, today was meant to be a different conversation. But trust me, how do you ignore what is happening in the world, any part of the world, and such? Even though you have got something planned already, this is why we have to be flexible. And also this End SARS movement that has been going on for the last 1 week in Nigeria is something that I thought, okay, I personally don't live in Nigeria. I have most of my family members in Nigeria, however, and I thought, okay, we are not just going to be quiet. It would be nice to have someone who lives in Nigeria, who sees this on a daily basis, who can relate with what's going on there, because it's very easy for people who are abroad to think that, oh, well, I mean, but the truth is, the time has come. A change is happening. This movement is real. I am a proud Nigerian, and I say I am very passionate about Nigeria, regardless of where I live on the face of the earth. So, and which is why I couldn't just ignore what is going on in Nigeria at the moment. I thought to bring on this special guest who, thankfully, gracefully agreed to join us tonight to have this conversation. Mr. G, as I fondly call him, his name is Mr. Sharif Badamosi. I mean, we all call him Mr. G anyway. So, and he's a senior consultant of the JPI in Nigeria. They're into consulting. Mr. G will tell us a little bit more about what he does, what his business does as well. Mr. G, over to you. Welcome to the show tonight. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Please introduce yourself to our viewers. Thank you.
My name is Sharif. I am CEO, principal consultant of JP Consult, a company that is it's a consultancy that helps train people mainly in the area of financial management, personal development, business startups, and things like that. We're here to talk about the going on or 2 weeks ago. It's been quite interesting what has been going on here, as so many opinions flying around the whole place, so much propaganda as well flying around the whole place. We're hoping this is it, because I think a lot of Nigerians are fed up. I'm trying to figure out exactly what is it that is going to happen at the end of this. Normally, I mean, I remember very clearly when we had Occupy Nigeria during the time of Jonathan Goodluck, saying, this is fantastic. We locked down the country. I think that was during a fuel crisis or something like that, and some issues going on with the government. And we actually were hoping, but a lot of us are making noises, saying that to have revolution in Nigeria, it has to be bloodshed, or it has to be something that would involve a lot of people dying, or whatever it is. But not necessarily, because these guys have really shown. I mean, I read a post today, and the post actually, it made me feel happy, but at the same time, it made me feel sad. The guy stood up and said, okay, you know what? 45, 50, 55, all of you please can sit down. Or 40, 45, all of you can sit down. We're not interested in whatever you have. Just support us. you know, and I'm sitting down, I was going, that's my age bracket. So they're asking us to go and sit down. But when I really think about it, I remember that my generation used to say our parents failed Nigeria. That they really didn't do much. It was under their own governance that Nigeria as a country started sliding back. My parents disagree. We are the generation after them. And we now have another generation. The millennials came afterwards. Then then the new generation now came as well. And what you find is that these guys have done something that all of us were not willing to do. Stand up and say enough is enough. Because a lot of us, if you really look at it, there's an element of self-interest. Well, with self-preservation, you know, we don't know. The general consensus was, well, when I speak to a lot of my friends, they'll say, oh, if I now stand up and everybody doesn't follow, you know, it's like, you just think of one of those cartoons. You get one person trying to attack someone and he expects his boys to be behind him and he looks back and there's nobody there. You know, and a lot of Nigerians felt that if they sacrificed themselves like that, they looked at people like Dele Giwa and all that, what happened after these guys died? So a lot of people are reluctant. Sorry
to jump in there. Just before you go on, you know, for the benefit of those who don't really know what SARS is, you know, can you tell us a little bit about who SARS are?
The SARS
are, yes, and so you know that.
SARS is actually an acronym for Special Anti-Robbery Squad. It's a division of the police department where that deals with all armed robberies, call-outs very quickly, and things like that. They patrol. So, you know, for some reason, the police themselves they delegate this to the SARS teams. When I heard about the SARS, I was a little bit confused because we also have another police division called RRS, which stands for Rapid Response Squad. So I'm thinking the Rapid Response Squad are supposed to deal rapidly with things that happen or any crime that is being perpetrated. So now you have the SARS, which is the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. And a lot of people talk about the fact that these teams were there to safeguard against maybe all these fraudsters, internet, whatever it is, and all that, and people that actually, I thought it was for robbery, but they seem to be targeting a lot of this, what they call Yahoo boys. And Yahoo boys were the guys who run internet and ran a lot of confidence scams. So that's what the SARS is all about. And instead of carrying out those responsibilities, in the last number of years, they've actually killed a number of young people under false pretense. They've arrested them without any evidence whatsoever. Obviously, all these guys were not armed. They were all, you know, going about their normal business. They came and says, "Oh, you're a suspect or something," and when they were, maybe some of them put up some hostility and they were gunned down immediately, without any trial, without anything. I mean, I would expect that the judicial system would come into play. They would be arrested and things like that, but none of that happened. So people are now revolting and saying it's just not right. Extrajudicial killings at the hands of those who are supposed to be safeguarding us, it's not on. So that's what's up.
Thank you so very much for that. I think, I mean, I know what SARS is, and but you said that they stop people, arrest people for no reason. I mean, we've seen, I'm sure most of us on here have seen different posts online where people have said, oh, because I look nice, it doesn't make me a criminal. Because I use iPhone 11, it doesn't make me a criminal. Do you know, or do you have an idea why these guys do what they do? Like, because I have my own experience of them, which I'm going to share tonight. But yeah, so you know why they do what they do? What did they do?
Well, I'll put it plain and simple. Just like any other government agency, they're grossly underpaid. All of them. All of them are grossly underpaid. I remember that I was reading there's this list. I'm sure some of you might have seen it around. It's a list of police pay grades from when someone is a new recruit right up to the point where they're, IG. And the lowest pay is actually 9,000 naira a month. And that's a recruit. Regardless of the minimum wage of 30,000, which already is low, paying someone 9,000 naira, let me put it into perspective in UK pounds. Let's just assume that the exchange rate is 500 to 1. So you're saying you're paying someone roughly about 20 pounds a month to function, families do whatever he needs to do. Right? It doesn't make any sense. Now, a lot of these guys don't have money. So what they did, and imagine you don't have means to live, and a weapon is placed in your hands. So eventually, you look at this weapon one day, you look at your bank account, and you say, you know what? I can make money from the general public. Because if I could just extort whatever it is at gunpoint, get a bit of fear going on, I might be able to replenish my bank account with the shortfall that the government didn't pay me in salary. So it started that way. I mean, you hear stories of they've taken people to the ATMs and emptied their bank accounts. There was a man that they kidnapped. They literally took him, not for any crime whatsoever, and they held him for quite a number of days. And I think the maximum withdrawal from the ATM is about 150,000 a day. And they kept him for a number of days. Every day they beat him consistently and escorted him to the ATM, removed 150,000, took him back to where they were keeping him hostage until his account was completely emptied of 1 point something million naira. And they now dumped him on the streets. And that was it. They just wanted the money.
So to be honest, so this kind of explains why people aren't just calling for let's end SARS. We don't want SARS anymore. They are calling for a reform because if we think about it, so I know I have had, as I said, I've had my own personal experience of SARS where they they just stop you all of a sudden. I remember I was on Allen Avenue that day, and I was actually, and we came out of a bank, and there was a guy that ran to us from the other side of the road, and just said, hey, stop. And we're like, stop, for what? What's that? What's going on? And he said, oh, my boss over there wants to see you. So this was a plain clothes guy. He wasn't wearing a uniform.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you reduce your volume on Facebook, please? Completely down. Okay. Yeah, because I think there's like an humming sound coming from you. So anyway.
Completely off. Yeah.
Okay, so as I was saying, I was like, so Philip was already getting like, excuse me, do I know you? Who are you and everything? Of course, I lived in Nigeria longer, so I kind of knew, okay, this guy had to be either this guy, it was broad daylight, so he couldn't have been a kidnapping issue or whatever. So I said, okay, do you know what, let's just follow him, go there. So we followed him to a bus. So the bus was sitting on a bus there, and there was another guy on the bus who was getting really angry and was shouting, I don't understand this, why are you keeping me here and everything. And they said to the guy, oh, you look like a Yahoo guy. You said you should identify yourself. You couldn't identify yourself. So I was like, okay, so what do we look like? Like for you to have stopped us. And they said, well, you need to identify yourself. Anyway, we were bailed out because we both had our passports on us because we had gone into the bank to get some money. But for me, I'm sure that's how a lot of Nigerians have been like accosted like that. They see these things happen every day. And for those ones that were not fortunate enough to live that safe and sound, those are the people why all of this protest is going on for. And so I think if you don't live in Nigeria, if you haven't experienced it, there is this thing about, I live in the UK, right? If there's anything going on, I can call the police and in the next few minutes they are here. I know I'm secured. If the police arrest me or anything, I don't have to be scared of what they're going to do or what they're going to say. I just need to know what to say. But it's a different ballgame in Nigeria. If you get robbed for whatever reason, you go to the station, you pay to make your statement. Basically. So they pay to make your statement. Yeah. So, Mr. G, I want us to focus on, we the Nigerians abroad, right? In terms of, we're not out there protesting. I know there's been like a couple of protests going on in the UK and other part of the world as well. But in terms of us as individuals, what would you say that we need to do to add? Because this is a good cause, right? This is a very good cause. And we can't say because we're not in Nigeria, it doesn't concern us. It concerns us. And I say that if you have a single member of your family. One person you can point at in Nigeria as a family, and the person is in Nigeria. Then this also concerns you as much as it concerns the people that are living there. So what would you say to people like myself who are outside of the country? How can we lend our voices to this movement? What are the practical steps that we can take?
Beautiful thing about it is that a lot of people that are in the diaspora have people, they have connections back home. So they're not void of the fact that they know someone that is probably involved in the whatever is going on, the protests and all that, which is fine. And another lovely thing I love about it, where this works for us, this generation is 100% tech savvy. And what you've noticed is that in record time, these guys have brought out campaign. They've brought out posters. They've brought out, I mean, I'm seeing amazing things that they're doing on site where they're actually protesting. They have phone charge points so that nobody has to worry about their phones going off. The way they're mobilizing, everybody's working together. So from that perspective, trust me, if you go on all the platforms, click the relevant hashtags, right? End SARS hashtag has become so widely spread. You are going to find organizers. I tell you why. Because the guys that are running this don't have a face. Okay? It's very intentional. In the olden days, and if you notice something, if you see a lot of the interactions that the government have been having with these young people, it's been the same. The government has always asked the question, who is your leader?
Yeah.
And the response is overwhelming. They say, we have no leader. And that's because we know for a fact that the government is looking for someone to piggyback off, grab, and hold for ransom. That's what the government is looking for. Okay? So because of that, they don't have it. So it's kind of like an organized rally, an organized protest where everybody is the leader. Are you going to arrest the entire 70% population of young people in Nigeria? It's absolutely impossible. You don't have the manpower to do so. So I think this is why one of these initiatives are running. And because of that, they're using a lot of technologically based things to be able to run this program. So if you click on any of the hashtags, also I know for a fact that in the UK they are running a program there as well. In many other parts of the world as well. You need to lend your support to the initiatives that are being run in your various countries. Very, very important. Don't ignore that. By all means, please, yes. Also lend your support financially, obviously, because that's practically the only way you can do it if you're living in the diaspora, to the initiative here in Nigeria. They are raising money in all denominations. You can find out, I don't think it's that difficult to find out which accounts to pay money into. They're raising money in Bitcoins and things like that. But aside from that, the fact that you're on ground in the UK, US, you name it, Germany, Italy, wherever you are, you can lend your voice to the protests that are happening in those cities where you reside. So I think it's twofold. For those in the diaspora, they should do that. But at the same time, if you can spare a little bit of money, you can do so also, because here is ground zero. That's what we're working with in Nigeria.
And do you know what? That is so beautiful. Thank you so much. You know, we were talking about this earlier. Wellness Abby says that she's seen footage of even women being beaten. Do you know, there is such a lot of abuse of power in Nigeria. We don't understand how much we enjoy being over here. I mean, being outside of the country, anywhere outside of the country. To be honest, you take for granted the fact that you can go out there, do your own thing, and come back home, not having to worry about people. It is very sad. You know, we have people these are people that we have put into the office, right? And I've always said it, that until we're able to make, you know, these civil servant offices less attractive to people, we wouldn't get the right people in those positions. See, someone said here that they're always looking for someone to bribe. See, it's amazing. I watched a video earlier today, and someone said that, oh, you know, we're calling on all the celebrities to stop using the police as their personal security guards. You know, because they are the ones also, because we all have a role to play in this. We are all playing some sort of role. It's not just about the leaders. Do you understand? It's a big thing. If you land in Nigeria today and you have security experts to come and escort you out of the airport, you see how people will clear the road for you, right? Or you're going into the market and you have your security experts, you see how people will move away and let you go. What do we say to that? Is that something that should be readily available to all citizens? Do you know? I mean, I don't see that in the UK, except if you're like the prime minister, of course, or I don't even see it with the MPs. So how do we
Some of these guys ride bicycles to work, you know, with no security.
Yeah.
Carry on, sorry.
So yeah, so I mean, so I was saying, so how do we address that? You know, it's not enough for us to say that the leaders, yes, the leaders, but then again, we have our own role to play. So going back to how we can contribute, what we can do, you have said it. People do not understand the power of social media. People have Instagram accounts, they have Twitter accounts, they have WhatsApp, they have Facebook, they have TikTok, you know, and a lot of times, like people think that those things, those platforms, they are for, you know, just sending your funny videos and just following people and doing
yeah.
But this is actually the time. Any movement in the world that you hear about, it's because people have been using their platform to spread that news across the world. So now in the UK, I mean, I personally, forgive me for this, I've been watching my WhatsApp status, like I've been watching it very closely. And there are particular, like a few people who were so loud and clear when this Black Lives Matter movement started, right? And honestly, believe me, I have absolutely nothing against that because it is true. Our lives matter, and I was on that as well. And for this End SARS thing, maybe I'm thinking maybe they just don't know. They don't know what this whole End SARS is about, you know. But you can always get yourself educated, right? So it's like people are not coming out as you would expect them to do so. When you see in diaspora, yeah. When you see the videos of people protesting in Nigeria, you see the night video that they're doing, you just, I don't know how your heart would not just rise and not just feel very heavy. Like, okay, what is it that I can do? What can I do here? So I say that for every single day you post something that relates to End SARS, that adds to the number of the posts out there, and it has a value, has an advantage. So for us, for people who are watching, who are living in the diaspora, please, if you haven't gotten on the bus already, this is the time. This is the time. It is about our own future. It is about the future of our children. I've said it before. I mean, there are people here or out there that they have parents, maybe living with them in the UK or the US or anywhere in Europe or anywhere in the world, right? And they've said to them that when they die, please take their corpse back home to bury them, right? And when they do that, so that means you have to make that happen. But guess what? If Nigeria is not where you want it to be or where you need it to be, when that time comes, you might not be able to
come on board.
You might not be able to do it because the country is just in a state. So we all need to rise up and do something about it. So I'm going into the comments to see. So someone said the top for price. So Philip said a few days ago during the peaceful protest, police were shooting armless people. It is crazy. Exactly. So, Mr. J, what do you say that? How do you shoot at people who are protesting peacefully? I mean,
it's absolutely ludicrous. It's absolutely look. There's something about Nigeria. Yeah, even I don't know how we have this power thirst. There's insatiable hunger and thirst for power. If you give someone, I mean, all you have to do is just look at something simple as you go into a restaurant or you go into a supermarket and you have one of these security guards with these ones to wand you in, make sure you're not carrying anything metallic like a gun. And that's his responsibility, and give that something little. And all of a sudden, he's doing James Bond moves around you when you're checking for spaghetti at the till. And you're wondering what is wrong with this guy, because he just believes that you look like a thief. And what does a thief look like? right? And they take it to an extreme. They start acting rude and doing all kinds of nonsense, and it just seems so overwhelming. Now with police officers, because you're carrying a gun, right? I mean, I remember one of the captions of this protest. They said, "Put the gun down and let's see if I can't break your teeth," which is what they were saying to the police. Put that gun down and let's see if I can't break your teeth. Let's just go at it. But at the end of the day, you put this in their hands and they just feel that, yeah, I have all the authority, or because you've been given the authority to arrest people that break the law. And that's it. Arrest people that break the law, not just anybody. So if the person is not a suspect, right, you got to let them be. But the reason why, I give you an example, what you were talking about is because they saw you coming from the ATM. What they have done is that they park their vehicle somewhere near that ATM. So anybody that goes in and comes out, if they have any, if they look, maybe JJC have just come, or maybe they look nice, right? All of a sudden they're suspect. It's the money they're looking for. It has nothing to do with anything else. So these guys we just take stuff, even amongst the protesters. I give you another example. Amongst the protesters in the state yesterday, these guys attacked convoys. I know, yeah, we're talking against, the government, they're not doing right by Nigerians and things like that. But we also called for a peaceful protest. Peaceful. And some guys decided to take it to another level. Yes, we're protesting, but at the same time, let's go and disrupt a convoy and flip over a car, because we have the numbers. But the truth about it, one of them wouldn't be able to do that. So because once you're in the middle of a mob, there's this mob mentality that just comes. And people that want to do that. And that's just literally what it is. You give a Nigerian a little bit of inch of power, and he wants to have this to show that even me, I have authority. And it's the mentality of the people. Orientation needs to be changed completely. The power is responsibility. It is first and foremost responsibility. It is not for us to take advantage of others.
Yeah. No, it's for me. I think it's just one of those things that you look at and you say that you just need to come across any of these SARS guys on the road, and you look at them and you're thinking, how did you even get this job in the first place? So for me personally, my own personal view is that most of them were given the job because the government just want to show that, oh, we're employing people. So and then when they employ them, if you think of the training they give them, what sort of training do they get? What sort of training? I mean, if you're going to go into the force in any other Western world, do you understand? You are going to go through some serious training. And I don't think that happens in Nigeria. It doesn't happen. So it's just a case of, okay, you end SARS and you open another squad, you call them SWAT, going to replace SWAT with SARS. The same people. Not the same mindset, the same mentality, the same faces, the same uniform. Well, maybe they will change uniform, right? The same everything. So how would there be a
They claim they're going to give them a psych evaluation, which I doubt, because I'm even doubting the person that is going to give the psych evaluation in the first place. You see, I feel that the whole police force gets similar training. When these guys become SARS, guess what happens? These guys now decide to take off the uniform and wear mufti, saying they are undercover. Because if they wear uniforms, the perpetrators will see them in advance. And a lot of the mufti these guys wear, they are horrible. Oh my goodness. They look so tattered. So a lot of times it's very difficult to know whether they're genuine police officers or not. If you look abroad, even those guys that are plainclothes officers, they dress to a particular code and standard. That is very difficult for you to say this is not an officer. But you can't wear ripped jeans. You can't wear torn shirt and look like a hippie and hold a gun and expect me not to turn around and run when I see you on the street, or respect the fact that you're a police officer and obey your. I think that you're probably a criminal that is disguising yourself as a police officer. So that, you understand, it just doesn't work. Yeah. So you tend to wonder what's going on. And I think it's just because they want to have that ulterior motive of getting the money that they don't have in their paychecks.
So
That's just what.
so all of this, everything still goes back to like the root cause of the issue, which is what the government laid down as their package for the role that they're all taking. So if they're not well paid, so it's just like for someone that goes to a shop every day and expects to sell something to bring money home. That's how their job looks like. So they go out there every day expecting to go back home with some money to make up for the shortfall that they have from their salary. And of course, it is sad. Someone said we're talking about what we can do. And Brolayo said that Twitter is really effective. It is actually, you're absolutely right. If you're not on Twitter, I'm sure most people will be on Twitter anyway. But please, this is the time to make use of your Twitter. Do you know, even if it's just to retweet what has been tweeted already. I mean, I would say the caveat is don't retweet stupid things. You know, there's some people out who are they're just not serious about this thing, right? Let's not lose the focus. Let's not get dragged into, oh, the protesters too are violent or all of that. No. Let's remember, for the Black Lives Matter movement, there was a time that people were looting, and a lot of people were focusing on that, and they were like, oh, but why are people doing this? They shouldn't be doing that. That is why they're treating us the way they're treating us. But all of that was just a way of getting us to look away from the main issue at hand. So when you go on any social media platform, please know what you're about. So personally, I wouldn't like a picture that crosses the government or the president or anything. I wouldn't like it because to be honest, whether you post it from today till tomorrow, it doesn't change anything. But I would like any picture that says End SARS. Because I look good does not make me a criminal. And if I die, I cannot be a makeup artist or things like that. I would like those things because those are real stuff. So let's be mindful of how we use our social media platforms. Let's try. If you have people around us who don't know about this thing, educate them. Educate them.
Yep.
Don't keep quiet. If you're a Nigerian, by birth, by whatever connection, by marriage, by whatever it is, this concerns you as much as it concerns those people that live in Nigeria. So if that country isn't what it's meant to be, we all are going to pay for it. So we might not pay because we've gone ahead, right? But think of the generations and the generations and the generations to come. Someone says here that when you apply for any of the state jobs at your past interview, after the full confidence that you will be picked, once you don't have a name of any politician, you can put your name under, you won't have that job. That is so sad. So, Mr. G, this is addressing the issue of who you know to kind of get you a job. So,
wait, I mean, they started claiming at some point that that thing doesn't exist anymore. That is not about, but it's still there. It's still there, and you know, a lot of people can't escape. Like for instance, with this SARS thing now, they can't escape unless they know someone, and you make a phone call, and the person says, "Leave that person alone. It's my person," or something like that. There's so many people that have been arrested. Some people have gone missing at the hands of this SARS people. To today, they don't know where they are. Apparently, there's supposed to be a river somewhere. I can't remember what state it is, where it's like a grave. A lot of dead bodies are in there, and it's actually the SARS people that put them there. It's some horrible stories you hear about. But again, everything goes back. The entire civil service is underpaid. That's just reality. The entire civil service workforce, not just the police, fire service, the hospitals, the doctors, the nurses, all of them are underpaid. So the only people that are paid well are the rulers. Yeah.
You know, that is something I want us to come to when we start to address the new Nigeria, because I want us to talk about what the new Nigeria would look like, what we think it would look like, and for those that are watching as well, what do you think the new Nigeria should look like? So we will talk about that. So before we get there, I just want us to stay a little on. You know, I saw a video yesterday, I think it was, and it was Tiwa Savage who did the video. I think she was calling out artists, she was calling out Beyonce and the likes of them. And she said something that really, really touched me. She said that there are a lot of people are after, they're going for like dual citizenship because people are not really bothered, they're not showing that they care because they have dual citizenship. and all of that. And then she said, but you know, God forbid you're involved in a car accident and there's only 5 minutes to save your life and you're in Nigeria, right? So that dual citizenship is not going to save you at that point in time. No matter how much you have in your account, that's not going to save you. What is going to save you is the people that will run to the scene and then maybe call an ambulance. And if an ambulance can get there in less than 5 minutes, which is almost impossible in Nigeria with the state of the roads everywhere, you know? And she said that, and I know someone said to me recently that they know people who paid as high as $150,000 to get European citizenship. Do you understand? And they will say things like, well, last, we'll just move out of this country and go to another place.
Yeah.
What do you say to that? I mean, when I hear that, it really breaks my heart, you know? It's like you just feel like you want to run away from your responsibility. I get it, right? We all want the best for our children, for ourselves, for our generation to come. But if we all start to run away, who are those people that will resolve the issue at ground or on ground? So what do you say to that? You know, getting, I mean, you are a dual citizen yourself, you know, and you moved.
And I'm here in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yeah. I was a dual citizen before I moved. I was a dual citizen before I moved from the UK back to Nigeria. I just know that regardless of what happens, I mean, I can hop on a plane and leave, you know, if I want to. But the truth about it is that I'm more about a person of calling, and I know that there's a big part of Nigeria that I've been in the UK and I've had eggs thrown at me, and it's not 100% cushy, as a lot of people actually say. But anybody can leave at any time. Today is today. You're saying to yourself, I mean, you're talking to someone that once upon a time, I didn't want to have anything to do with Nigeria at one point in my lifetime. In my early 30s or something like that, I said to myself, there's absolutely no way I'm going back to that country. And here I am. Because another thing you need to understand is that time. You say that now, but you never know what 10 years of your life from now would look like. That you might need a home outside of where you think you are currently confident and relaxed in. 20 years time, you never know. And a lot of us think, okay, I'm out of there, I don't want to have anything in Nigeria. My name is now, I've changed my name from Dari to Stephen. Hey, no problem, change your name, do whatever you want. But the truth about it is, Nigeria would always be, as much as you want to look at it, Nigeria will always be your home. And if you don't help to fix it, the day you decide to come back, or you maybe are trapped where you are, and you feel that that's the only place you can go to for safety and for sanity, it's not going to exist because you never made the effort to sow the seed like everybody else to build this nation. So it doesn't always work because literally, never say never, because you can say, oh, I would never need that country again. But you never say that because at the end of the day, you are not sovereign. God is sovereign.
That's right.
You're not. You really don't know what's in your future, and you might need this country more than you think it needs you. So nobody's asking you to come back home, but I'm asking you, lend your voice to fixing this place, man, because it's your home. No matter how you want to look at it, right? You're dark skinned just like I am. Hey, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, lend your voice to fixing this nation, even if you're not going to come back. Because even the kids you're going to have might decide, unlike you, that I want to go back there.
That's right, yeah.
It's their choice. It's not yours. When they're old enough to make a decision, they might say, wouldn't you want the idea of knowing that you at least help to make the place a little bit better, even if it's for your kids or your grandkids?
Yeah.
They have a choice. You can't force them and tell them to stay in the UK, US, or wherever it is. You know, they have a choice. But no matter how you want to look at it, this place is going to affect you at some point in your lifetime. It is. So you better just do what you need to do about. So.
No, honestly, Mr. G, that was really powerful. That was so powerful. I've always said it that, and I think we're already seeing it anyway because there are people. I know people that their children woke up one day and actually said, you know what, I'm going to Nigeria. Maybe they only took them to Nigeria once, right? And they're like, oh, do you know what, Mom? I'm going to Nigeria and I love the country. I'm going to work there. I'm going to do this and they're doing that. They're enjoying it. So we can't say, definitely can't say, because we are not in Nigeria, we need to do our own bit. This is us. I mean, my children might wake up tomorrow and say, Mom, Dad, we're going to Nigeria, we want to go and live in Nigeria. I still have most of my family members in Nigeria. Do you understand? I mean, Nigeria is a place I hold dearly to my heart. I mean, it's so you understand. But and it's like the way I am passionate about the country I live in at the moment is the way I am passionate about Nigeria. I have come, and what I give into the UK today is as a result of where I am from, and I don't forget that. Do you understand? So I want people, please, if you're not supporting this movement at the moment, all you just need to do, just Google SARS and see all the different articles that will come up on them to understand what they are about, why people are crying. You need to just see some videos of people being killed, being shot anyhow. You know, you need to see the state people living. When I go to Nigeria, so I do this. I mean, it's like a ritual for me. When I go to Nigeria, I purposely visit areas that I wouldn't need to visit, and I don't have any business there or anything, but just to see the way people live in those areas. Because it's always very easy to think that everything is rosy where you are. Because when you go to Nigeria, I mean, if I come to Nigeria and I come to see you, I know where you live. If that's all I see, I would think that's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's it.
I would say that's how Nigeria, right? I would say that's how beautiful Nigeria is. And it's the same thing for here in the UK as well. It's actually the same thing. It depends on the areas that you go to. So I would say that let's cast our nets as wide as possible. Let's be open to learn, understand, get lessons on this thing. We can't keep quiet. This affects us. We've all paid for it. You know, you look at the state of schools in Nigeria. You look at the state of hospitals in Nigeria. When I was in Nigeria, trust me, at the point I was pregnant at the point then, and I lost the pregnancy. And to be honest, after some time, it was like I was grateful to God that I lost the pregnancy that time, because I had the fear of, God forbid, any emergency. Where would I get a proper help? I mean, the country has done a little bit better than then now. We have a lot of more good hospitals. But these are people...
Only private. And not a lot of people can afford.
Can't afford
only private.
You can't afford it. Private hospital, just for you to register. So here in the UK, you go to the GP to register, right? You just fill out a form, and that's it. For you to register in a private hospital, I actually know a hospital that you have to pay 25,000 naira for their card, the registration card. So please, if you work and you earn 30,000 naira a month, or even 50,000 naira a month, right? Are you going to pay 25,000 naira in the hospital? So you see why people will go to hospitals that they will charge them 2,000 naira, but they have like quack doctors and all of that. You know, I read something earlier here. The Poor for Christ. She said, "Oh, this is Tokwe." She said that she's applied for. She served over 10 years. 10 years ago, she served 10 years ago, and she's applied for more than 7-star job opportunities. And not that she didn't pass all the interviews, but because she doesn't know anyone. She didn't know anyone there.
Oh my!
She didn't get the job. I mean, how bad can things get? Do you understand? This is the reality of someone.
And because of that, they lose out on the best minds. It just doesn't make sense because the person is not related. Come on.
Exactly. So
it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
You know, because you are abroad, when you go back to Nigeria, I had the privilege of working in Nigeria when I went back initially, and because I had the little accent, it gave me an edge, and it used to pain me that, okay, you want to listen to me because I sound different, but I am Nigerian. I am the same. That these people probably know more than I do in this area, but you would rather listen to me because you think I have got more to offer, and it is sad. So see, for someone who has served for 10 years, so it's one thing to finish uni, it's another thing to go and serve. You serve for what, for a whole year, and 10 good years, she is still there looking for a job. So how do you cope? How would you know here like this and not feel there is so much more that we can do? You know?
Yeah.
So it's just, and she said the little job she's managing since after pandemic, they've asked them to stay back. Now, The pandemic came, they said no more job, go back home, we can't pay you or anything. How is she meant to feed her family? And I'm sure there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And it's the same thing. You're driving on the road of Lagos. Police officer stops you. The first thing they will be like, madam, anything for us?
Yeah, exactly.
And
one took me to ATM one day. One of them took me to ATM one day.
Can you just imagine that? Like,
yeah.
you stop a citizen and you say, okay, you want something from me? I don't have any cash on me. Oh, don't worry, I'll take you to the cash point. It doesn't even make sense. Do you know? It doesn't make sense.
Some of them have POS.
It all needs to stop. It all needs to stop. It is ridiculous. It is painful. And you know what? Which is why I said, Mr. G, honestly, I can't thank you enough for giving this time. Because I said to myself, you know, how do we contribute to this? What can we do? I don't want us to just sit here and think it doesn't concern me. My mom is in Nigeria. So every single day I'm calling her, checking up on her. My sister is there. My brothers are there. Do you understand? I have nieces, I have cousins, I have nephews there. So it's so difficult for me to look away from them. And you know, I know that, and trust me, I know that not all these SARS people are bad. But I
yes, that's the thing. Yeah.
Have some that when you come across them, they will speak to you with respect, they will handle you carefully, they will ask you the questions they want to ask you. If you answer them, you're good, everyone is good, they let you go. But you know, it's the bad one, the rotten eggs that are there that we need the government to fish out of the force. You know, and when you see the pictures of the barracks, I mean, I grew up around some.
It's horrendous.
And honestly, you can't. Being a police officer isn't a good thing or whatever it is. You know, like you see the kind of the flats, the apartments that you want to cry, you want to weep for them. I mean, we're not saying that all of this should justify them killing people, arresting people unjustly, and all of that. But what we're saying is, it is more than that. So let's go back to what the new Nigeria should look like. So, Mr. Chief, from your own view, what do you think the new Nigeria would look like? We've got 7 minutes, and I want us to use that 7 minutes very carefully.
I'm gonna address, because you asked me something again before that says what can we do. Another thing we can do, I would say, for those that are here and those that tend to come back to this, guys, as much as I can, because I was accused a few days ago of not saying anything about it by one of my mentees. Said, oh, you haven't done that. And I said, look, at the end of the day, how long have I been fighting for a new Nigeria? For ages. One event does not change anything because I haven't said too much about it. But the reality is the answer lies at the polls. The answer, as much as you don't think the voting system in Nigeria works, imagine if they created a political party today for young people and everybody pours out to vote for that party, and you have representatives at every single local government across the 36 geopolitical 36 states, and you say these are the people that we have brought forward for this our party. At the end of the day, everybody votes for those ones. You vote in the entirety of the current legislature out with one swoop, right? And we're all present like the way we are now, mobilized to make sure that there's no rigging. At the end of the day, what happens? You get your country back at the polls. It's just going to happen. You know what I mean? Now, in terms of a new Nigeria, even if you get these guys out, it's just a starting point. Remember I said to you that every single civil servant office has problems. All you need to do is try and get a driver's license. You will see the same thing happen. Yeah. All you need to do is get maybe a voter's card. You see the same thing happen. All you need to do is just get one or two things, maybe at a hospital. You see the same thing happen. You see someone dying on the bed because they haven't paid the medical deposit. They're going to leave the guy to drain out blood and die. It just doesn't make sense. So the first thing that needs to do, I mean, I've heard people talk about orientation, but I think that we are a product of, the orientation is a product of the system. If you can change the system and get people to start seeing that, you know what, it's not business as usual.
Yeah.
Things are changing. Things are changing. So you can now relax, because a lot of people go into self-preservation mode from the systems that they see currently. But if you change the system, I think the orientation that you're looking for from Nigerians, because please, it's the same Nigerians that get on the plane, get to Heathrow or get to JFK, and they stop behaving themselves. And I'm like, whoa, are you the same person that beat traffic in Lagos just yesterday, and today you're stopping at a red light? Are you kidding me? Why? Because we are normally conditioned to our environment. So if you can change the environment, I think the orientation that you're looking for from Nigerians. I mean, when they brought LASMA out and people were saying the fear of LASMA is the beginning of wisdom, people started stopping red lights in Nigeria. And when they started arresting people for not wearing seatbelts, everybody wears seatbelts now in Nigeria. And I never thought we'd see the day. So if you can succeed at initiatives like that, why can't we succeed at governance? You know, I don't think it is impossible. It is so achievable. It's just, I just feel that our leaders have selective amnesia. There's certain things that they just forget about and just say, you know what? It doesn't exist. Oh, you know, there was a minister that went abroad and he was challenged on the healthcare system in Nigeria. And the first thing he says was, oh, I never knew our healthcare system was that bad. We're like, what? Excuse me? Why? Because when it's time to get treated, you get on the plane and you up it. You know what I mean? But the truth about it is, this guy knows that the healthcare system, because I'm sure he has a driver that has been to the hospital. I'm sure he has a maid that has been to the hospital here. So he can't play ignorant. So he's just choosing to have selective amnesia because he wants to avoid the embarrassing question in the West.
You know,
you got to separate the judicial system from the legislation. First of all, I think, you know, because I was listening to a few of these politicians answering the questions of these young people, and I keep hearing the same rhetoric. We're working on, we're putting together, we're putting panels, we're doing, and I think these are all the same delaying tactics we've heard as forever in Nigeria, and nothing comes of it. I just think they all need to go. Really. Seriously. I think they all need to go because they got nothing left to offer this country.
So,
they have nothing else to offer this country.
So, you know, the thing, I'm looking at the time. We've only got about less than 3 minutes for this live to go. And, I mean, I don't want to keep people on. For those who would like to stay on, because I want us to end this on a very good note. I don't want us to end it halfway. You know? When we go off this, I will come back live again with Mr. G for 30 more minutes, just to discuss four things. We've got less than 2 minutes, and I quickly want to read something Chiwe said. She said, my elder sister graduated since 5 years, second class upper. A COP member who has parents in the upper hand got a job immediately after passing out because she had a job already waiting for her. Can you imagine that? You know, can you imagine? So it's not about how anything is not based on merit. Anything is no longer based on merit. I mean, and this has been the reality of Nigerians for years. For years. I mean, look, how do you?
It's the same thing that happened. I know. It's the same thing that happened to me. I'm not proud of it, but at the same time, I was one of those beneficiaries. When I was leaving the UK to come back to Nigeria, there was already a cushy job waiting for me, and I stayed in that job for 10 years. But the job itself that was waiting for me was not actually the job I ended up getting, because by the time I got there, I lobbied on the strength of my merit to get a better opportunity. But it was waiting for that. Less. Yeah.
Hold your thought on that. I'm going to end this now because we have less than 2 seconds left. So I don't want you to cut off or just anyhow. So guys, for those who can join us, please, I pray that you join us back. Please just join us. We'll go off now and come back again. Let's just have this, let's discuss this a little further, because we want to talk about what the new Nigeria will look like and how we all can contribute to that. So thank you all so very much. Mr. G, I'll be back in a few minutes, in a few seconds actually. All right, thank you guys.